Well, I told you all I'll be back, and I was, and I am. So, without further ado, we'll continue from our previous vid, and we'll continue with crypto for today. Yeah, if you want to go see the start of this crypto market check for today, you can see the end of my previous video. Bitcoin not doing a whole lot in terms of what we want to see. Like, you have this potential range. Other than that, there's just quite a bit of internal price action going on here, which we're not too... Yeah, you just got to give it more time. USDT, very important. So far, we have SFP'd out 45-minute market structure high. This is not an hourly. Grab that. So yeah, so far we have SFP this 45-minute market structure high, which has grabbed this liquidity to its left. So we'll see how this candle closes. But if we can break through this, that would be nice. Ideally, if we don't, then that is fine. We do have liquidity here below, which I've marked out. So I am kind of expecting something like this. I am not expecting, I'm pre-planning for a model one, where you come back and do something like this after SFPing this high, grab extreme liquidity, break structure back up, and then finally push up once and for all. But we'll see what happens. That is the alert I wanted, which might mean TP for me. Not yet. I'll set an alert here of when TP is. Yeah, official TP would be around there, but I am still holding. Like, theoretically speaking, I could technically just manually exit now for like a 2RR, which is not bad. Trying to see if there's any... No real demand here. Like, it's all been mitigated on the lower time frame. Like, you have that very, very refined, but not that much of a fan. And then should we come down when you have a 10-minute? But it's just not that yeah, point being is there's not much holding price from coming down at the moment. Even here, this has all been mitigated. So yeah, just hold price, wait for the position to fill itself, for the sell to fill itself. So yeah, contextually, from a context perspective, Bitcoin is ranging for the time being, and our main primary focus is on USDT. If we break through this 45-minute high, then I expect it to go higher in the short term, at least for now. If we break above this hourly high on the, what is it? This could be a 4-hour, no. And then if we break above this 3-hour market structure high, then we can definitely expect a, if it's a nice break, we can expect a nice move up. Market structure high. 3-hour. If we break above this, then we can expect alts to drop quite significantly. But as of now, we'll just wait and see what happens. At least if we begin to SFP this, as we're kind of doing now, and then we start moving our way back down to potentially create the third tap of this accumulation model, then we can potentially see, or we will see, at least in the short term, alts going up higher or continuing higher. So yeah, and then if this does happen and alts do continue, or if USDT does continue lower to form that potential third tap, we can definitely expect Bitcoin to potentially create the third tap, or technically the second tap, sorry, in here, which can kind of correlate to USDT creates the third tap here. Can we do this actually? Bam. Asta, no Asta. I want. Awesome. And then we are on the 3-hour. Sweet. So it would be kind of something like this. And then the second, we get the third tap. And we get some sort of break of structure in there. Come up higher. That's also Bitcoin's sign to distribute and go down. So these could go hand. These go hand in hand. Or they normally do go hand in hand. But whether this accumulation happens at the same time as this distribution, we won't know. Only time will tell, but that's kind of the idea that I'm pre-planning. But as I said, it might happen, it might not happen. So knowing that, let's see what else might be going on in the crypto space at the moment. ETH is looking okay. It is looking distributive. We've spoken about this in the previous video from a few hours ago. This is technically a confirmed model to distribution because this actually did not front run this high as much as it may look like it. I have measured it on the previous one. I'm not going to do it again. But yeah, the point being is this tap here is a few dollars higher than this tap here. Had this been higher, then it wouldn't have been as valid, and you would have kind of looked for a repull of a range. But for now, this is valid, and we are in a pro-distribution environment or pro-distributive environment. That's been mitigated. So yeah, for now for ETH, I am expecting lower, and I'm expecting this monthly open to get taken out. Width is ranging. We're going to leave that as is. Doge, I didn't take this. I missed the entry. This was a valid entry to take. All I've done in the last hour was kind of just chart this as if I had taken it, just so I can journal this later on and see if we did end up hitting TP, or if we were to end up hitting TP of that entry. So I'm going to leave that as is. Of course, if there's a chance for a redistribution, I will take that, because we are in a pro-distributive environment. But you also got to take into consideration this is on around the 10-minute time frame, and this range is only be going for 2 days, almost 3 days, so fairly low to mid time frame range. Man, I'm hoping this thing doesn't front run my TP, but this is the game we play. Move on to the next. All right, we might have a accumulation model here on TON. This is your tap 1. We got our Wyckoff low. This is our tap 2. And then the question is, do we have any form of POIs in here? That might be our extreme liquidity. And even that in itself is pretty ugly. Yeah, this is extreme liquidity. Any form of demand, that's no, because this has been mitigated. Oh, technically it has not. Technically speaking, ever so slightly, but yeah, we can use this with our liquidity, so that is fine. So we'll see what happens here. If we can get a sweep of this, preferably just because of all this price action here, I would like it to get swept once more. But if it doesn't, it doesn't, and I am okay with that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. It is semi-counter context at the moment. But we will see. May as well check if there's anything to the left. But at first glance, I didn't really see anything clear. No. Nothing worthwhile, at least for the time being. You got this 10-minute demand, but it's way too low. All right. Pump. Invalid. There's probably going to be some demand in here, which I am curious to see how valid it is. Okay, this is not valid demand yet. If we can get 2 consecutive bullish candles there to show market structure, we have valid structural demand, and voila. Perfect. Alright, that is pump fun. Pepe. Do we have a high time frame distribution here? No, definitely not. Nothing really for Pepe at the moment. Tau. That annoyed me. So initially I entered here on that break of structure, but there was refined demand above, which I kind of looked at and I kind of overlooked at the same time. And I was like, nah. Like on the 5 minute at the time, that could be TP hit. On the 5 minute at the time, this was such a great, and it still is a fantastic, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. But it remains the same. It still is a great break. Like it's a really nice break. Which is why I took it. And yeah, and then price came back up and stopped me out. Obviously my stops would have been above here. Took this extreme supply, mitigated it, broke structure beautifully here. Like it broke structure so nice here. And then I woke up like here. No, sorry, I woke up like here. Woke up, looked on the chart straight away and I was like, oh, what opportunities for a pullback do I have? And it was this supply, which because I wasn't going to just FOMO in, I wasn't going to FOMO in almost 40 minutes after, 30 to 40 minutes after we broke structure and had a valid entry opportunity. I wasn't just going to FOMO in here. So I was like, you know what, if we get a nice slow pullback into this supply and a break of structure, then I'll enter or re-enter. But that never came, so I never entered, and here we are. Currently a nice 6 risk reward in profit. I would have never entered this full stop because I was sleeping. Like if there's ever a trade where I should be awake and I miss it, then yes, I'll be annoyed. But if it happens when I'm scheduled to sleep, then that's just part of the game. Like nothing to get upset about there. But yeah, it was more so annoying that the first setup got stopped out, but it is what it is. Let's move on to virtual. Ripping through demand. Absolutely ripping through demand. This is my new target. This stays the same. XMR. Yeah. Technically speaking, it was a Model 1. Tab 1, Tab 2, Tab 3. Very local. And then you got your flush down. These lows are really, really nice. Bang. 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 Yeah, same thing, nothing there. If we manage to deviate in here, then this will be a new range. That will be my new range, but we will wait and see. Litecoin. Deviated on, this is actually looking quite nice, so Litecoin will go top of the list. Yeah, essentially we want a nice demand mitigation coming into as deep as possible, slow pull back up, grab some extreme liquidity, and then move down and fulfill this high time frame distribution. So plan stays ahead for Litecoin. Keep an eye out for it. Render. Looks like we potentially missed out on a local model up here. But this looks like it happened it got confirmed a while back. Or we just never had nice confirmations. Which could have also been a thing. Supply here. Great. Otherwise, yeah, for render at the moment, knowing the scope of the land, oh, we might have some demand in there, maybe. Inside bar candle, so not necessarily, but we have demand here. Perfect. That's pretty clean as well, to be fair. So we'll see if we can get a mitigation on here. Sweet, move on. Quant. Quant is now dumping this accumulation model here. I will use this just for now. I'm not a fan of using upward candles as OBIF, so here we go. This is a lot more valid. This is a lot more valid. So is this technically. I don't think the 3 hours is going to be a valid OBIF. No. This whole move is pretty like, you're in demand here. Like this, yeah, this whole thing is demand. So we'll see if we can come into this more refined area here. Watch this space. XLM, not a whole lot. Still, we'll move XLM up. Should we slowly come back up, which is kind of what's happening here. Bang. Break a structure, enter. Cake. Maybe. If we can come above here. I'm just not a fan of this range much. And then from memory, I think this was kind of pushing our DL tool. Yeah. Thing is, it is valid on the 3 hour. And you got supply there. It's just not clean, which is what I don't like about it. It's just not clean. And then you have supply above here as well, like. There's a lot of reasons for price to come up. Then you got liquidity here. At least in the short term, price has a reason to come up. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. Hype has failed this range. I'm kind of good. like we are leaving behind demand. So we'll see what happens if we can bounce from this. Yeah, I want to see a bounce from this first before making any further decisions. It's an aggressive break though. Like, structure's broken there. We'll see. Decent return to zone. Pretty decent return to zone. It is just a little bit too market structure like. Like, you know what I mean? Not as rangy, so we'll see how this plays out. Are they not interested? Once again, I'm not going to be forcing range pulls. XRP front run that, and nothing has changed since then. So this can be a potential, but you got to realize there's nothing here for price to rebound from. There's no demand. There's nothing you can bounce from. So it's kind of in a no man's land. And then you have Sol, which we're looking for mitigations of this demand, or at least responses to the demand. Asta nothing, Link nothing, Bitcoin Cash front ran this. No longer interested in this range. Trump, not really. Brett, fulfilled this kind of weird looking distribution model, but it fulfilled it. Not clean though, but like pretty far from clean, to be honest. Leaving demand here, like it's not something you would take. And let's come back to Fartcoin. Sweet. TP was hit there, so there you go. Live. I didn't enter it live, which is annoying, but you saw the outcome live, so there you go. But yeah, point being, to summarize, we're aiming to see how what type of closure we get on this. Like, it can already be a model 2, so this can be a tap. It's a valid tap, but all we want to see is if we get a confirmation and we break above this, if we break above this 45-minute high and we break just, decisively, nice bullish candle, then we can expect this model 2 to potentially play through, and we'll get follow through, which means alts will decline. If we don't, which we're kind of not getting a close above now, we can expect an SFP, and then if we're getting an SFP, look for a model 1 and enter on the break of the model 1 if it's a bullish closure and it's a bullish break of structure. And then in between here and here, in between this SFP and at least this low, if we're downtrending in this short run, then expect alts to pump a little bit, not too much, but expect them to go up a little bit. So yeah, that is kind of the scope and the outlook for crypto in the short to midterm. So keep an eye out on this closure. If we close, yeah, I've already said it. So yeah, thank you all for listening, viewing, subscribe if you made it this far, if you found it insightful. Yeah, and I'll catch you all on the next one.